on this edition of Lifeguard.
On a red flag day like today, nothing's going to be smooth.
Run all the way on the deck, run all the way on the deck.
We get those big sets and the boat's out there. He needs to make it over those sets. He can't get caught inside or else we're going to have a serious problem.
And
there's been a report of a shark sighting in the area.
For your safety, we ask that you exit the water.
plus,
This girl came up to me, she's like, I think my sister burned her hand back in the fire pits.
This went through her skin down into her nerves. It's a bad burn.
and later.
This is the last day of rookie school. We're gonna do the 3-mile swim.
It's gonna be a super long swim. I'm a little worried about sharks.
The lifeguards of Southern California protect over 400 miles of coastline,
It's just really us versus nature.
and nothing impacts their day like the weather.
As lifeguards, the weather dictates the type of day that you're going to have.
Shark sighting, clear the water. I need medics to ski beach dock and other units.
On these beaches, lifeguards are the first responders.
1, 2, I got 3. When you get this many people coming to the beach, things are gonna happen.
Hey, you all right, buddy? You there?
They are there to save you.
He told me to grab the buoy. He was literally right there.
They are there to lifeguard. Newport Beach, often home to the biggest waves in Southern California. The surf may not be consistently large, but when the conditions are right, the waves here are legendary.
Ocean conditions at Newport Beach vary a lot, and that variation depends on the weather, especially the wind. Waves are generated by the wind blowing over the ocean surface. A storm is the same way as an atmospheric rock dropped in the ocean, and the waves move away from where they were created. And our waves come from storms that are relatively far away.
Earlier this week, a storm in the South Pacific began moving sets of waves towards Southern California. Today, they're making landfall in Newport Beach. For lifeguard supervisor George Leeper, that means today is going to be busy.
Vibe right now for this area, all the guards are probably on pins and needles. Anything could happen at any moment right now. The swell has been big all weekend, and all the lifeguards have to be on high alert because it makes the rip currents that much stronger.
Due to the Pacific swell, red flags and cones are used as educational markers to warn the public of dangerous conditions.
Most of the people that are trying to be in waist-deep water, it's because they're not that good of a swimmer, but it's not always up to you where waist-deep water is. It can change very quickly.
Lifeguard Zach Larkin was watching the pounding surf from Tower 61.
A pretty big set came through, and a rip current popped right here in front of the tower, slightly to the right, and there was 4 victims inside the rip current.
Lifeguard Larkin calls for backup and races into the ocean.
The issue was there was another set coming, so some pretty big waves, maybe 6-foot faces, and 2 of the victims were pretty young.
5341, 61 rescue outside with multiple victims. 10-4 en route for 52.
Larkin and the rescue boat arrive at the victims at the same time.
You guys all right?
Lifeguard George Leeper has also responded. His job is to back up Tower 61.
As we pulled up, the guard from 61 and 65 were both in the water. The boat was back down, helping out. I jumped out of the rig here to back up the rescue.
This rescue will be difficult. The waves are pounding both lifeguards and their victims. The boat has only seconds to get close enough to haul in any of the swimmers.
On a red flag day like today, nothing's going to be smooth.
Run all the way on the deck, run all the way on the deck.
We get those big sets and the boat's out there. He needs to make it over those sets. He can't get caught inside or else we're going to have a serious problem.
You make it in?
3 victims are safely on board. Then, trouble. A giant set of waves forces the rescue boat away from the rip current, leaving lifeguards and a female victim in the impact zone.
As I said, grab on your board, hang on your board, and I said, I got you, just hang on real tight, don't let go.
Lifeguards Larkin and Marienthal have only seconds to pull in the 4th victim before another wave breaks.
Hey. Okay, you grab the handle. You grab my hand. Okay, get your foot on the step if you can. There you go.
I was the only guard left on the beach when I saw 3 more kids started getting pulled out in a rip too. 5375, I'm gonna be responding towards the left side of 61. Looks like 3 victims.
Both Leaper and the rescue boat react to the new danger.
And I saw one big wave just crush that kid, and his boogie board went flying up in the air. I pulled up, I took off my sunglasses, my shirt, put my fins on, I get my buoy, I start dolphining out.
Giant waves pound Leaper as he fights his way toward the struggling swimmers. The Sea Watch, still carrying the Tower 61 victims, is approaching quickly from the north. Every time Leaper thinks he's getting close, the rip current pulls the victims farther away. The boat arrives first. Lifeguard Rob Marienthal is quickly in the water.
I saw a little kid that looked like he was really flustered as we grabbed him by the boogie board, tell him to get on, and usually give him a good ride in.
Those kids probably would have drowned over there. That was a very heavy situation. There was about a 6-foot set breaking right on their heads, and they're getting pulled out in a rip. They had no fins on. They seem like decent swimmers, but I don't care if you're Michael Phelps, you're not going to be able to swim against a rip current.
Kept getting pulled back and forth with my boogie board. It kept going under and up, under and up. That was like almost about to drown. It felt like the scariest thing in my life.
All told, 5 lifeguards pulled 7 victims from the flash rip currents. Today, everyone will go home safely. La Jolla, California, home of the legendary Scripps Institute of Oceanography. This famous marine research facility was established here because this area is home to some of the most diverse shore life in Southern California.
La Jolla is renowned for the beautiful scenery and the wildlife around here. We have a lot of sea lions and seals in the area. You can see dolphins playing in the water, and it's a great scuba diving location here.
But the main attraction for diving in these waters may come as a surprise. Sharks. Hundreds of them.
The most common species of nearshore shark in San Diego is probably the leopard shark.
Leopard sharks have a fierce name, but these sharks have very small teeth and are non-aggressive.
So leopard sharks are very unique. They are about a medium-sized shark, typically about 5 to 6 feet long, maximum length, and they have these beautiful saddles and spots all over their body, which is representative of their namesake. The most common place to see leopard sharks would be La Jolla shores, where they form an aggregation every spring, summer, and fall, and the number can be up to several hundred. We don't exactly know why they're here, but they all seem to be pregnant females. We don't see the juveniles and we don't see the males, so probably not mating. They're probably there because it's calm water and because there's a lot of food around, but they are completely harmless to people.
Today, low wind and cloudless skies have created excellent water visibility for snorkelers looking to get close to these sharks.
There was actually a school of sharks around me. I probably saw literally 30 sharks, enough that it made me a little bit uneasy. There was a lot more life in the water than I'm used to seeing. I mean, there's a lot more bat rays, there's a lot of guitar fish, and the ocean seemed to be teeming with life.
With all the snorkelers in the water, lifeguards try to keep the swimmers from drifting too far from shore. Veteran lifeguard Amanda Skarsky heads into the surf line to keep watch. But something is watching her.
I was paddling the rescue board north, and as I was outside the breakers, I saw about 13 to 14 foot, what looked like to be a great white shark. It was probably about 2 feet away from me. It had a pointed nose, was gray in color, very large dorsal fin. This was not a leopard shark. This was not something that you want to mess around with.
There's been a report of a shark sighting in the area, and lifeguards are going to be clearing the water.
Exit the water, please. A shark has been sighted in the immediate area of La Jolla shores. A shark has been sighted. A shark has been sighted in the immediate area. For your safety, we ask that you exit the water.
As swimmers scramble out of the water, Sergeant Mike Cranston deploys a helicopter to locate the shark.
This is Able 1. What's the location the shark was last seen?
Directly off the main lifeguard tower, directly outside the surf line, traveling in a southbound direction.
This year, a slew of shark sightings put lifeguards on high alert. 75 miles away, off Catalina Island, a white shark latches onto a teenager's paddleboard, biting it several times. Across the country in the cold waters off Rhode Island, a 1,600-pound white shark washes on shore.
I'm glad the summer is over. Don't think I'll go back in the water.
In Cape Cod, Massachusetts, beachgoers watch in terror as a white shark stalks kayaker Walter Zoltz before disappearing into deeper water.
Just figured this is it. This is it, or I'm gonna make it, I don't know.
But 21 miles to the north in Ballston Beach, Chris Myers is not as lucky.
A shark attacked. He's bleeding. He's wounded.
Tragedy struck when a white shark grabbed Myers in 6 feet of water. It was the first white shark attack in Cape Cod in over 75 years. Then, in Eureka, California, a shark pulls Scott Stevens from his surfboard. And in Santa Barbara County, another surfer is struck by a 16-foot white shark. The wound is fatal. In 2012, a total of 34 shark attacks are recorded in America. And La Jolla lifeguards are racing to keep their beach off the list.
Everything north of the pier is in the advisory zone.
As the 14-foot shark prowls the water, lifeguards rush to evacuate 2 miles of surf line. They clear all beaches from La Jolla shores to Black's Beach.
Please dedicate a surf boat to patrol the shores area.
With several thousand people in the water, lifeguards call for extra support.
Jet 1 copies, en route to Black's Beach.
We are making warnings on all the kayaks that are currently in the water and pushing them southbound out of the closure.
Go into the beach over there. As lifeguards right now, we're clearing everyone out of the water. We have our rescue boat, Rescue West, out, making sure if they happen to come across any scuba divers or stand-up paddlers that they need to exit the water. We want to prevent an attack from happening, so that would be the worst nightmare.
A quarter mile down the beach, witnesses spot a dark fin moving through the waves.
Oh, I just saw it, yep.
Per the report, there's been about 8 other witnesses from shore.
But as soon as the shark is spotted, it vanishes.
We've checked around the cove pretty good. No sign of a large shark, just dolphin.
Without a visual, it's presumed that the shark has returned to the deep. But Cranston is hesitant to let anyone back into the ocean. Erring on the side of caution, lifeguards decide to keep the beach closed for 24 hours.
We have policies and standard operating procedures that tell us what to do in this case, and then we can make the best determination of how to get that information out to the public. The media want to obviously cover the story, and it does help us get the information out. So people, if they were planning to come to the beach this evening, now a lot of people will know that this beach is closed, and if they wish to enjoy some ocean activities, they should go to another area. So it's a good relationship we have with them. They do get on scene fast. They do help us get the word out to the public.
There was a shark in the water and everybody had to get in.
But why was it so concerning to you?
My 7-year-old was out there.
And they are also looking for a good story. And when people are sitting down to eat their dinner and watching the news, a large shark sighting in La Jolla is definitely a good, juicy story for them.
In the history of San Diego, there have only been 3 fatal shark attacks. But none of those attacks occurred with a lifeguard on duty.
Very proud of how everyone acted, utilizing the PA systems from the trucks, the towers, the jet ski, the rescue boat. They're more than happy to maintain a presence out there for everyone's safety.
With 3.5 miles of uninterrupted coastline and over 11 million annual visitors, Huntington Beach is one of the largest and most populated in Southern California.
Today is just a gorgeous day. We just have like really light winds, which is kind of keeping the temperatures down a little bit. It's nice and cool.
With the weather cooling to 65 degrees and darkness approaching, a calm, clear evening is the perfect recipe for a beach bonfire. Families and friends flock to the 167 fire pits on Huntington Beach. But as Todd Bartlett, a 25-year veteran lifeguard, knows, a perfect evening at the beach can go wrong in just a few seconds.
We just got a call for help. It's going to be medical aid behind Tower 13.
10-4, I'll let you know, 10. I'll send over the cadets. They can assist you.
Lifeguard Griffin Camps was the first responder on scene.
This girl came up to me. She's like, I think my sister burned her hand back in the fire pits. Grabbed my first aid kit buoy, ran back to the fire pits. You could see full thickness burns all over her hands. So I wrapped her hand up, tried to keep it as moist as possible, and that's when Todd showed up.
It's gonna be a little girl. Here's Mom right here. Mom right here? Okay. What's her name? Actually, go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and put a little dressing on top of it, okay? Okay. So what's happening is that she's the tips of her fingers. Yes, well, the air is touching the tip, and that's what's causing all of her pain. It was new instantly. It's what we call a full thickness burn, which means it went through her skin down into her nerves. It's a bad burn. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna put this one on instead. I want to cover up her whole hand, okay? Okay, it's hurting a little bit?
Underneath the sand was a layer of hot coals. She put her hand on there, and that completely burned her hand, burned all over it.
Did you have any more owies anywhere else on your hands or on your feet? No. No more owies? Was it just your hand? Anytime you get a burn, the clock's ticking, you need to get it to the burn center as soon as possible because every second goes by, it's more damage done to your hand and it could be irreversible. Okay.
Todd makes the decision to move the victim off the beach, where paramedics are waiting.
Hey, we're gonna go with Mommy inside the lifeguard truck, okay? Mom, we're gonna go in the front seat, okay, Mom? We'll come together. It's extremely hard to stay calm during situations, and I know for a fact that if I start freaking out, then the whole scene's gonna go downhill. So it's almost you have no choice but to stay calm and make sure that you give that little girl everything you got. It's okay, it's okay. I know. It's okay, okay? Don't happen to me. Yeah, we have a solid second, third degree burn to almost her whole right hand. Nothing on her elbows, her hips are all fine. It's just all in that one area.
Patient contact time at 1849.
On scene, the medics evaluate the victim's vital signs and decide to administer morphine to reduce the excruciating pain.
I was really fighting back tears almost that whole call before the medics got there and gave her the morphine because I knew that's the only thing that's really going to help her. Yeah, try to keep your arm down too. It's okay. Just keep by your chest. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. That wasn't a routine burn. That was a significant burn. Her road to recovery is going to be years. I guarantee she's going to have skin grafts. And the good news was that she was able to use all of her fingers and she was able to move her hand. So that's the good news. But the bad news is it's going to be a scar there for the rest of her life.
In Del Mar, the lifeguards stay on the cutting edge, always looking for the newest and best. This includes their facilities, their equipment, and even their staff.
Welcome back, you guys. This is the last day of a month-long rookie school. We're gonna do the 3-mile swim. If you guys get in trouble, you got the buoy.
For sisters Sandy and Andrea Taylor, this will be their final test. Those who complete this swim will become Del Mar's newest lifeguards. Those who do not will be dismissed.
I'm freaking out because we're going 3 miles and it's going to be a super long swim and it's going to be really cold, so I'm getting kind of panicked and nervous. I'm a little worried about sharks.
For the first time, lifeguard, a rookie in training, getting dropped 3 miles out, it is a big deal, and once we get them completing that, then all the nerves settle and they're actually ready to sit tower.
The trainees plunge into the 58-degree water with nothing but a buoy. For the next 3 miles, it will be just them against the elements. For the Taylor girls, this is more than just a summer job. It's about living up to a family tradition. Their 2 older sisters, Natalie and Sarah, are also Del Mar lifeguards.
We went on a hike the other day and she brought this to talk. Stop it.
Andrea and Sandy, they really like the lifeguard stuff. And the older sisters want to hear about it. Do you have any rescues? What were they?
Andrea, where were you?
Headquarters.
Rookie Point.
That's what they call it, Rookie Point? What do you do?
Enjoy myself.
That's a good name, I like it. Really, it was a family affair. My sister was the first female lifeguard in Orange County. I think lifeguarding actually is sort of a shared experience. And as a lot of people tell you, our girls do spend a lot of time together. They're good friends.
Andrea is definitely like the crazy one. She's always been like that, and she always will be.
We don't have any boys, so we call Andrea our boy. And Andrea is very engaging and very athletic.
Sandy's the youngest sister that kind of branched out a little bit. She went different directions and tried something new.
She plays soccer and she rides horses and she does very well in school. And she lets everyone know what's going on and what she does and what she doesn't want to do.
Natalie, she's definitely got that older sister personality.
How do I put this in my backpack?
Oh, I can show you.
She takes things very seriously and will very often get her sisters to follow the rules.
Sarah is very much like her father. She's exceptionally bright, but she's the most sensitive, probably, of all the girls.
She's quiet at first, but she definitely has her little comments and is hilarious if you actually get to know her.
She's like, the food's great. I've never been there, but my friend's friend told me.
Actually, we all have different personalities, but we all mesh together well.
Meanwhile, as the open water race continues, the trainees are now less than a mile from shore. Sandy and Andrea stay close together, pushing each other onward.
Sandy was awesome to have with me. She was definitely a support.
An hour and a half into the swim, the new class of rookie guards take their first steps on the beach.
Feels great. A little dizzy, a little disoriented. Head is very cold.
Minutes later, both tailors arrive on shore.
The first part wasn't that bad. It was once you could see people on the beach. You're like, yeah, okay, I'm only like 20 minutes, and it felt so long. Definitely this moment means a lot to me. Finally completing, starting like an actual job and stuff like that. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
All right, guys, let's get close.
All right, 1, 2, 3. There's definitely a tailor name at the lifeguard department, and I do want to live up to it, and hopefully I am.
On this edition of Lifeguard,
Things that happen here happen really fast.
a surfer is in trouble at the Wedge.
Wedge is a very particular wave. It's one of the most powerful waves easily in the world. If you don't really know what's going on, it can get disastrous really quick.
And
They have a codex at El Capitan Reservoir.
The golden hour is what we give people that submerge underwater.
The visibility is not good.
Where is this person? How can we find him? And let's try to find him quickly and efficiently.
And later.
By the time I got to the water, one swimmer had already gotten drug away from the group, and the other two were on their way out. She was in distress. She was really disoriented. She was very panicked. She was very scared.
The lifeguards of Southern California protect over 400 miles of coastline.
It's just really us versus nature.
And nothing impacts their day like the weather.
As lifeguards, the weather dictates the type of day that you're going to have.
Shark sighting, clear the water.
On these beaches, lifeguards are the first responders.
1, 2, I got 3. When you get this many people coming to the beach, things are going to happen.
Hey, you all right, buddy? You there?
They are there to save you.
He told me to grab the buoy. He was literally right there.
They are there to lifeguard. Southern California, the birthplace of American surf culture, and home to some of the most iconic surf spots in the world, like Wind and Sea, Huntington Beach Pier, and Black's Beach. But the most famous surf break in the region is 1 mile south of the Newport Beach Pier. Welcome to the Wedge.
The waves at Newport Beach depend on the weather that has occurred over the Pacific Ocean in the last couple days. What makes the Wedge special is the fact that there is a structure that protrudes to the water. When waves come in at a particular angle and hit that jetty, they can make a wave that is bigger than the two just added together.
The fact of the matter is there's no other wave like this in the world. Wedge is a very particular wave and only exists because of a combination of natural factors and human engineered factors.
Combined with a shallow shore break, this is the most dangerous surf spot around. Today, the Wedge is pumping. 20-foot faces and a strong backwash keep lifeguards on high alert. Only seasoned guards are assigned to the Wedge. Veteran lifeguard Brandon Butler notices a swimmer in trouble 20 yards from shore.
This larger set had just came through, more like 15 to 18 foot faces, and he was kind of in the inside. He started to swim, which actually, hindered him from getting in because once he left his feet, he was getting sucked out.
The backwash rolls the victim in waist-deep water, keeping him off his feet.
Hey, go! I really didn't have time to think. Here at the Wedge, these rescues and things that happen here happen really fast. And if you don't really know what's going on, it can get disastrous really quick.
The victim is being dragged out toward the impact zone. As Butler approaches, a local body surfer swims over to help.
A lot of water was moving around, so he was getting sucked back into that larger peak.
5343, outside rescues at Wedge.
A Newport Beach rescue boat hears the call and responds from inside the harbor. Piloting the boat is veteran lifeguard Chip Going.
The rescues that we do go on, they're generally the real critical rescues. They truly are the life and death type situations where if we're not there, somebody really might die.
Meanwhile, Butler and the victim are being sucked in the backwash. They're stuck in only 8 feet of water, and the immense surf is threatening to slam them on the bottom.
I got to him and got him away from the peak as fast as I could.
Sea-Watch arrives on the edge of the breakers, but the surf prevents them from getting any closer. 50 yards away from the boat, Butler finds himself staring up at the 18-foot wave.
But once you have someone else's lives in your hand and you have another person on your buoy and you're going up bigger waves like that, it does get, a little more challenging because you're pulling a lot of weight.
Just swim off the boat, take it back in.
Forward! Hold on, Matt, grab the buoy, go! He was actually fine. We only let experienced people in the water, but even those experienced people do sometimes get into trouble. So he was fine. He was a little flustered after it, of course. He was in a spot that he didn't think he was going to be in when he got in the water, but he did fine. People do die on days like that, and it can be extremely dangerous here at the Wedge. On days like that, you just need to stay out of the water.
Even after the close call, surfers, boogie boarders, and body surfers continue to challenge the Wedge. But with today's conditions, it's not a matter if someone will get hurt. It's a matter of when.
5323, 40-year-old male with possible dislocated shoulder at the Wedge.
Lifeguards arrive on scene to find the surfer with severe pain in his shoulder.
We sat him down onto the top of the berm, and we treated him right there. We had him hold his shoulder in a position of comfort. We stabilized him and got him out here to the medics.
Did you hit the ground? Yeah, I just wrenched and it popped, so I think I got my upper humerus.
He was in a substantial amount of pain. He said a 9 out of 10.
Do you have any pain back here?
Can you feel fingers here?
Let's see if I can get a blood pressure through this wetsuit sleeve.
The victim is in need of a higher level of care. Before transporting him to the hospital, medics must splint his arm to prevent further injury.
We're gonna remove this.
We're gonna need support underneath, right?
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
This ever happened to you before?
No, not even close. If you can put a pillow under my arm.
Okay. Okay, this one under. Okay. We're just gonna try to relieve the pressure.
Yes, sir.
Moving the victim's damaged limb increases his pain. The fear that he might slip into shock is now a reality.
Have you ever had morphine before?
Once, I think,
I'm just going to give you 5 milligrams at first.
The morphine quickly kicks in, but the victim's pain remains high.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the worst pain you've ever felt, where would you say you are right now?
I was at a 9.
You're at a 9, so we've only gone down 1.
So far.
All right.
The surfer is now stable. Lifeguards opt to move him off the beach to the local hospital.
This is really shallow, it's a really dangerous place, and that's the result is we have injuries here routinely. And luckily it wasn't his neck, it was just his shoulder, his dislocation. He'll recover and he'll be back out here.
This is Mission Beach, San Diego, one of the most popular beaches in California. Today, a high-pressure system from the north is creating perfect weather, which is drawing massive crowds.
We're a 24-hour service, 365 days a year, and the one thing that I've noticed is that it's really hard to predict when something's going to happen.
Over 300 lifeguards work during the peak season, responding to ocean rescues, boat rescues, cliff rescues, and medical aids. But sometimes their reach goes even farther.
Codex, they have a codex at El Capitan Reservoir. We've got a ranger on the line formatting the call.
The urgent call has come from park rangers at El Capitan Reservoir. Located 30 miles inland from San Diego, the popular reservoir includes a lake for fishermen and boaters.
The ranger divers had responded. That is their jurisdiction. They had limited resources, limited personnel, and so they requested mutual aid.
We have one victim, male, 6'0", and Ranger Ignacio said that he had a couple divers in the water.
When we received that initial call, my job is to try to coordinate a response and frankly, to try to give that person on the other end the best chance for survival.
It looks like I'll be the first one in, so it sounds like we're going to have 2 on scene and 5 San Diego Lifeguard dive team members.
Lifeguard Charlie Knight is on patrol when he hears the call.
It was definitely a call that, as a lifeguard service, we're not used to receiving. However, we were prepared for it, and I had already worked out there previously as a ranger diver, so I knew the area.
Copter 2, would you be available to provide transport to 2 dive team members and their gear out to El Cap Reservoir?
Affirm. Where would you like to meet, Quivera?
Affirm. We'll have the LZ set up at the turning circle at Quivera. En route.
Meanwhile, at Lifeguard headquarters, San Diego dive team members prepare for Copter 2's arrival.
We're going to send what we can send, which is 6 divers. We're going to send all their complement of equipment, all the buoys necessary to try to mark specific areas, any underwater investigative equipment we need, and then all of their personal equipment that they need.
Copter 2, this is Lifeguard Dispatch. Do you have an ETA?
Our ultimate objective is to try to get people there quickly and safely, and then attempt to make a recovery where we can try to save that person's life.
Lifeguard Dispatch, Copter 2, landing Quivera.
Dispatch copies, Copter 2.
Lifeguard Lieutenant Nick Lerma and Lifeguard Charlie Knight are en route to El Capitan Reservoir by land.
Sure, copies. We're now back in the aircraft. You can show us lifting Quivera en route.
In the air, 4 San Diego rescue divers join them in a race against time to find the missing swimmer.
Dispatch from Copter 2, landing at El Cap Reservoir.
The dive team lands, unloads, and prepares their gear.
Grab that back right there. If you take that tank down, I appreciate it. Down to the dock.
With all resources present, Lieutenant Lerma takes command.
When we first get on scene, there's a flood of people that want to tell us what happened. And in addition to that, because the search area is just so immense, our ultimate objective is where is this person, and let's try to find him quickly and efficiently.
Lieutenant Lerma and representatives from the Park Service and local law enforcement begin to share information.
She did a sweep and then push toward the shore. Take a look at the area right through there, and we still haven't located.
In this instance, he learns that 51-year-old Milt Isaac was boating with family and friends when he jumped into the lake for a swim. His fiancée looked away for a moment. When she turned back, he was gone.
Probably going to need to take her back there, otherwise, just to put her right back on the spot. So we take the witness, we bring her back on our boat, we try to get as much information as possible, we bring her to where she thinks the last location was, and we really try to pinpoint where that person might be. Information is key.
With the man's estimated last location now known, lifeguards can begin their search. This is Huntington State Beach. This 2-mile stretch of sand is often confused with its more famous northern neighbor, Huntington City Beach. However, this popular state park has many of its own unique qualities. While it boasts the same access to swimming, surfing, and sunbathing, it also provides a sanctuary for many species of endangered birds. Lifeguard supervisor Jeff David has been patrolling the waters of Huntington State Beach for over a decade.
My name is Jeff David, and I've been working at Huntington Beach since 2002. I kind of got the public safety emergency response bug when I was younger, and it's kind of hard to get out of your blood once you have it.
Huntington 1075. He's reporting they dropped him off at 6.
You want to take her over there to get her friend? Okay, thanks. I started lifeguarding when I was 18 years old at Folsom Lake up in Sacramento. I kept lifeguarding through college. And then when I got out of college, I went to paramedic school, and I was a paramedic for 4 years.
But something was missing, and that's when Jeff headed back to the beach.
I really like the diversity. I really like how every day is a different day, and that's one of the things that you don't get in a lot of jobs. But in lifeguarding, the conditions are different every day, the crowds are different every day. You show up to work, and you never know what you're going to get.
Like all lifeguards, he's checked the weather before going on duty.
Today, the surf is generated by Hurricane Elena. It's off the coast of Baja California. And this beach faces south, so we're getting all those waves from this hurricane to the south of us.
Over 1,200 miles away, Elena is a Category 1 hurricane with sustained winds of 80 miles per hour.
It's generating a big storm swell. So we're gonna have a lot of water coming on to the beach, and we have a lot of water moving out. So we're gonna have big rip currents today. There's a lot of people here. It's kind of the perfect storm in lifeguarding.
At Tower 4, lifeguard Matt Harrington is also keeping a close eye on the rough surf.
When the rip currents open up, they start really quickly. As soon as you see it begin forming up, you need to get out there, because if you wait to see if it is going to be a rip current and it is going to pull people out, you're already way too late and they could be in trouble.
It's not long before Matt spots a group of swimmers caught in a newly formed rip current.
By the time I got to the water, one swimmer had already gotten drug away from the group, and the other 2 were on their way out. Side current was super strong, pulled them along the shore, so it just kept sweeping them down the beach. The current was moving so fast that I had to swim and catch up with the victim.
Jeff David is now at Tower 4 to cover for Harrington. He radios to a rescue boat in case the victim is pulled out any farther.
30-1075. I'm covering Tower 4 right now.
10-4, contact Tower 4.
Meanwhile, lifeguard Harrington is still fighting his way through the crashing surf toward the girl.
It's hard to keep your eye on them because there's so much water moving around, there's so many waves, and especially with a current like this, you're literally sprinting trying for their life.
Now, 50 yards offshore, Matt closes in on the drowning girl. Her head is barely above water.
She was in distress. She was really disoriented. She was very panicked. She was very scared.
In fact, the girl is so disoriented, she's unaware he is a lifeguard.
All she knew is I had something to float on, so she immediately grabbed the buoy. After that, she finally started calming down, that I could talk to her and made sure that she got in safely.
Before I knew it, I was swimming and I couldn't swim. I was scared. I just kept going under because I knew it was pulling me in, but I knew it was already too late, and before I knew it, I couldn't breathe anymore. I mean, when they say you're scared for your life sometimes, I figured that out today.
It's so strong today, I think all of us have underestimated it. The good thing was he got there in time. She was rescued. That's our overall goal. He did exactly what he was trained to do.
Codex, they have a Codex at El Capitan Reservoir. We've got a ranger on the line, formatting the call.
A 51-year-old man is missing and is feared drowned in El Capitan Reservoir. San Diego lifeguards have responded to the inland lake to begin a deep water search. If they find him within the golden hour, there's still a chance of resuscitation.
The golden hour is what we give people that submerge underwater. They got 60 minutes, we think, of a viable response that we can give them. That if we do find them within that golden hour, that we can revive them and bring them back to life.
Lifeguard Lieutenant Nick Lerma is incident commander.
When we received that initial call, our ultimate objective is to try to get people there, then attempt to make a recovery where we can try to save that person's life. We employed several different search patterns. One is just a basic line search.
What we have called on the dive team is a San Diego sweep, where we lay a stationary line on the bottom of the lake. It's 100 yards long. So a team of divers then would traverse that in a perpendicular fashion from one end of the line to the other, and then we flip over and we come back on the other side of the line. It's great because you know exactly where you need to go, point A to point B and back again.
The underwater layout of this lake was very challenging. There's rocks, big boulders, there's crevices, there's trees, so it really is challenging, and the divers really had to be careful and wary.
I've dove in that lake before, and I know that the visibility is not good. It's not even half as good as the ocean. It's nearly impossible to see anything. It's extremely murky.
Despite an exhaustive search, divers are unable to find the missing man. As daylight fades, a difficult decision must be made.
We searched for about an hour and a half and then were inhibited by the lack of light. The sun went down, we were unable to search any longer.
Terminating dive operations for the day, resuming at 0600 tomorrow.
What was a rescue mission has now become a recovery. The 3-day search was conducted by personnel from 10 federal, state, and local agencies. On the 3rd day, divers recovered the body of 51-year-old Milt Eisen.
It's something that we really pride ourselves on, to try to find that person so we can give that person's body back to the family and they can move on with their life. We were happy that we were able to do that.
1 week after the drowning, the victim's family and friends check in with Nick Lerma and the other lifeguards.
I will be forever grateful to the whole team that put in this effort to first try and rescue my brother, and later on, when the hope was out, to find him so that we could have peace.
Fortunately, we're able to see him again, and for lack of better words, pay our respects and enjoy his company one more time.
Milt won't be with us right now if not for them. I am a witness how hard they had worked. They put their lives at risk just to find him, and I know how hard it is for them, and I just, I cannot thank them enough for what they had done for Milt.
The sun is setting on Mission Beach, California, and Sergeant Rick Strobel is making his last patrol.
Mission Beach to 2 Sam. It's going to be a 4-year-old Hispanic male. He had a red ball, last seen 30 minutes ago at the water's edge near Tower 13.
Lifeguard Cortland Carroll is staffing Tower 13.
I had a distressed parent come up to my tower with his daughter. He was Spanish speaking. The first thing you do is, tell the parent that everything's going to be all right, calm him down. Then you have to get his information. You want to know where the kid was last seen.
Tower 13 is known for its deadly rip currents. Strobel confirms a description of 4-year-old Angel and instructs Mission Beach headquarters to make an announcement.
Por favor, contacta la salvavidas más cerca. Gracias.
Meanwhile, there's bad news back at Tower 13. A beachgoer who heard the announcement has found Angel's ball floating at the water's edge.
It was about 7 o'clock when we really started rolling on this. Once you start moving into the darkness, it just elevates it to another level of concern.
Up and down Mission Beach, lifeguards are scanning the sand and the water for any sign of the boy. The San Diego police have joined the search.
Sam from South Mission. We have the Mission Juvenile here at South Mission.
The 4-year-old has spent 45 minutes wandering the beach alone.
I was up in the South Mission Beach Lifeguard Station. An assistant came downstairs and reported that they had a missing juvenile. He was a little afraid, kind of crying a little bit. His dad raced over and just grabbed him out of the car, didn't even bother opening the door at all, and just drug him out of the car as fast as he could. It felt really good to return a missing juvenile back to his dad.
Estoy muy agradecido con los guardacostas porque me encontraron a ayudar a encontrar a mi niño, y mi niña es todo para mí. Thank you.
Always makes you nervous. You don't want to have that one child, the first one that you didn't find.